Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today because what we're witnessing is not just another procedural move in this House. It's something deeper and far more concerning. For the past number of months, we've watched a pattern unfold that points to the reality of our democracy and it being under pressure. And yet, Canadians are not hearing about it. It's not leading in the national news, and it's certainly not being examined with the seriousness it deserves. Instead, Canadians are being told a different story. They're being told that everything is normal, that this is politics as usual, but it is not. We have seen by-elections framed as sweeping wins for the government as validation of a majority, but all those by-elections did was keep the main election results the same. The majority was secured through active recruitment of opposition members. Canadians elected balance, they elected accountability, and what they are getting instead is that slow erosion of that balance, happening right now in front of them, not resisted by the very institutions that should be asking the hardest questions, asking how this majority was actually secured. How did we get here? Why are you actively recruiting members of the opposition for power? Inside this place, we know exactly what this means. Committee is where accountability happens, it's where the government is tested. And now, through a series of calculated moves, the government is trying to control them. It doesn't stop there. Let me say that again. This majority was secured through the active recruitment of opposition members, members who were elected under one banner by voters who trusted them to represent a certain set of values and are now being drawn into another. Where is the scrutiny? Where are the questions from the media asking why this is happening? Instead, too often the narrative shifts. The focus turns to blaming Conservatives for raising concerns, rather than examining the actions that these concerns created in the first place. Even more concerning is what we have heard from some of those who have crossed. Most avoid speaking openly about it at all, but one openly admitted discomfort with the democratic process itself, specifically with the election of the Deputy Speaker, and crossing the floor became, in part, a response to that frustration. Think about that. A dissatisfaction with democracy, followed by a decision that helps consolidate power in the hands of the government. It's a complete dumpster fire. That should concern every single member in this House, regardless of party. Mr. Speaker, I want to make this real for Canadians. Over the past months, opposition members have come forward to say they've been approached, that conversations have happened behind closed doors, pressure, subtle or otherwise, has been applied, and Canadians have not heard about it. These are not rumors. These are conversations taking place behind the scenes, away from public view, away from accountability, and I can tell this House I was one of those members who was approached. I was asked to cross the floor. I was asked to leave behind the people of Kitchener Centre who elected me as a Conservative in exchange for aligning myself with the government. That matters. Because when elected, representatives are quietly courted to change sides. When the balance of Parliament is being reshaped through backroom conversations, we're no longer operating in the spirit of democratic mandate Canadians gave us. But this is not just about me, it's about the people I represent. Kitchener Centre is not just any riding, it's Canada's innovation capital. It's where the most dynamic regions in the country, a hub for innovation, arts, culture, and creativity. It's a place where startups are built, entrepreneurs take risks, and where the future of Canada's economy is being shaped every single day. The people in my community understand systems. They understand incentives. They understand when something doesn't add up. So when they see a government attempting to reshape Parliament, not through voters, but through recruitment, they recognize it for what it is. And I want to speak directly to them for a moment. You deserve transparency. You deserve accountability. And you deserve a government that reflects the choices you made at the ballot box. Right now, what's being left out is scrutiny. Recruitment that deserves attention is not being covered. Patterns that raise questions are being dismissed. Democracy does not function on silence. It depends on transparency and on the willingness to ask the hard questions, even when the answers are uncomfortable. That brings us back to this motion before us. What we're seeing is a government that is not content with the mandate it was given, a government that is looking to expand its power through democracy or the will of Canadians, but through procedural control. That is the reality, and it raises a simple but important question. If the roles were reversed, would Conservatives reshuffle committees if we had a majority government? The answer is yes. But that's what Canadians have voted for. But we are missing one important question here. If we were elected a minority parliament, will we go against the voters, recruit members from other parties, and manufacture majorities that Canadians never approved? The answer to that, Mr. Speaker, is no, because we believe that the mandate given by Canadians matters. We believe the balance they choose should be respected, and we believe that accountability is not something to be avoided, it's something to be upheld. Mr. Speaker, this is bigger than one motion. It's about whether we accept a path where power is quietly consolidated, where scrutiny and opposition is weakened, and where the voices of Canadians are overwritten. It's about whether we stand up and say that our democracy is worth protecting, that the choices Canadians make matter. Canadians are not asking for perfection from their government, but they are asking for honesty. They're asking for a system that reflects their vote, not one that works around it. When trust in that system starts to erode, it's not easily rebuilt. What we're debating today may seem procedural to some, but Canadians understand fairness when they see it, and they understand when something crosses the line. Changing the rules after the fact, reshaping Parliament to avoid scrutiny, is not fairness. It's a shift away from the very principles that hold this place together. And if we allow that shift to go unchallenged, we set a precedent, not just for this government, but to everyone to follow. This moment matters. This is why we're speaking up, and we are not backing down. No government, regardless of party, should be able to rewrite Canadians' choices. Conservatives will continue to stand against this, we will continue to call it out, and we will continue to uphold a parliament that reflects the will of the people, not the ambitions of power. This country and the democracy that defines it are worth protecting. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.